only one goal.
Good evening and welcome to the Mancunian Way. Tonight we have got a cracking panel. So that means Martin's not here. He's running late as usual. It's starting to become the Aussie show. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we both?
Evening. Is that Aussie with an AU or with an O?
You know exactly what I mean, Rich.
Yes, I do. Good evening.
Evening. How are you, Ozzy?
I'm good, thanks, Tone. I am good.
Good.
I hope everyone in the chat is doing well. Again, I am not able to bring up the chat. Only Martin has that.
Motion detected at the front door.
That's my front door. Only
delivery.
Yeah. Good old Martin has that power, but he will be on shortly and he'll start reading those out. So yeah, gentlemen, let's kick off while we're waiting for Martin. Let's do a bit of the Leicester post-match. Should we start with the lineup? What were your thoughts, gentlemen?
You go, Rich.
Yeah, there's nothing that surprised me in it. The one thing that I was happy about was O'Reilly starting, but I actually thought, given the last few weeks, he probably would. I think, Pep, he's reluctant to start youngsters, but once they actually get a few games and they actually really show something good, he does normally start them again. So I kind of expected that. I've been a little disappointed personally with seeing Nunes over Lewis, but I expected Nunes to play, especially given the opposition. So yeah, I think it was not that unexpected. I was more surprised with the FA Cup lineup, to be honest, at the weekend when we put Dadzami out. I think that did surprise me, and the fact that was reversed, I guess, just showed that he was actually, whether it was giving players a chance or resting people from the league, he clearly was on Sunday.
Yeah.
Tone?
I like the lineup. When we won at the weekend at Bournemouth, wasn't it? Yeah. I wasn't fussed on the lineup and we won, played well second half. I saw the lineup yesterday and yeah, I was much happier. I was quite glad to see the wingers on. I thought it was obvious really Doku and Savinho were going to play because we were playing Leicester, who, by the way, were horrendous. And to be honest, Savinho and Doku were probably the two most frustrating players of the whole 11 because yet again, they do 80-90% right and then that last bit. But I was glad to see them start. I was really pleased Nico G started. I'm okay with Nunes at right. I'm not a massive Rico Lewis fan, to be honest. I was really pleased O'Reilly at left. Yeah, sorry. I'm really, really happy Nico O'Reilly played at left.
Agendas.
Yeah, yeah, apparently so. So I'm told. Nico O'Reilly, really happy he was on the left, and he played very, very well again. Yeah, I was quite happy. Mamouche up top. Yeah, no problems when I saw the lineup.
Yeah. Was anybody surprised with Grealish in the 10 role?
Well, I thought he was good when he came on against Bournemouth, and I think Foden's needed a week or two off, and I think De Bruyne's played Sunday, and so did Gundogan, and they're like 95. So, perhaps not as surprised as I should have been, but I wasn't that surprised.
Tame?
Yeah. I was surprised to see him start.
You're skipping me around there. All right,
you're late, mate, so you have to wait the back seat.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tony.
Sorry for working. Carry on.
Yeah, Grealish. I was a little surprised. I thought he may start possibly, but I didn't think he would start in the position he was in. So, but it was a sort of welcome surprise. I think I was quite happy that he played there, and I thought he played pretty well. I thought he was decent in that role. So, hopefully we start to see a bit more of it. I'm not sure how much time he's going to get there. Again, if it was, Liverpool yesterday, he doesn't play. Leicester has allowed Pep to change things up and play a more attacking team, knowing that we're very likely to win. So it was good to see him though. And so I was a little surprised he started in that role. Yeah.
I mean, the thing that I quite liked about the lineup is the centre-back pairing, because I thought Diaz and Guardiola actually, as a centre-back pairing, have worked quite well. I thought they really did well in that game. Leicester didn't get a sniff, even when they had, a couple of pot shots that weren't even on target, but they handled, and Leicester had some sort of attack. I thought they really did well. Pep's comments about O'Reilly, recently about saying that he probably should have played a lot more than he has, especially when we needed, players. So for me, I think O'Reilly deserved to start, and I don't think he was as good as he was against Bournemouth, but I don't think he put a foot wrong, and I thought he did well. Grealish, scoring the goal, great. But after that, he didn't put a foot wrong, but I don't think he really added that much after the goal, if I'm honest. And to get man of the match, I don't know, if I'm honest. I don't think anybody stood out in that game, if I'm honest, either. I think everybody had a bit of a 7 out of 10 game. I don't think anybody was above an 8, above 7, if I'm being really honest. It just felt that kind of game where, Leicester did the low block and we just break them down. And it could have been one of those games where it could have been 5-0, but I don't think we needed to push it beyond that. Just getting 3 points was the main thing for me.
Yeah.
So
it seemed to be a low block without actually attempting to break much. I mean, it really was, and it wasn't even just low. It was almost at times they had 11 players in the penalty area. It was almost like just stick everyone around the goal and hope that if you have 11 goalkeepers, no one can score. I mean, it was 5:30 in the morning, and I got to bed late, so I was a bit tired, and you almost kind of feel your eyes closing, and then 30 seconds later, the ball is at the edge of the area. Nothing's happened, and there's still 11 players. And, it was so unambitious. It was, relegation sides normally try something. They're normally we're desperate to stay in the Premier League. And it just looked like Leicester didn't even want to win. They didn't even want to stay up. There was, I didn't see passion. I didn't see, I'd have expected, elbows up and, really giving it something. I think Sam Allardyce needs to come out of retirement. I think,
I think it's a bit late for Stan Allardyce even at this stage, Rich.
Well, I tell you what, honestly, I don't think he could do worse than Ruud van Nistelrooy. Like Ruud van Nistelrooy's, I don't know what his team tactics are. Let's just try and get relegated. We don't need to score goals. As long as we don't concede more than 4, I'm happy. See you in the Championship. I mean, what is his like?
Yeah.
And then he almost looks unemotional or almost semi-smiling as he's by the bloody edge of the pitch. I mean, it was embarrassing, really. I'd be livid if I was a Leicester fan.
Yeah, I mean, even Jamie Vardy's usually good for kind of riling things up a bit, isn't he? But even he just looked absolutely disinterested. Like the Leicester players know their fate now. It just felt that was it.
He was chilled out on the bench. It was it was mad.
Yeah. Leicester were. I would say that was the most comfortable win we have had. I can't even remember. We may have won 5-6-0 before. That was more comfortable than a 5-6. They did nothing. They were spineless, to be honest. And I saw some
not a shot on target.
So what you're telling me is Pep can't win.
It took Leicester till the 60th minute or something to have a touch in our box. I mean, that is just a touch in the opposition's box, which is madness. Van Nistelrooy, to be honest, they're going down anyway. They could have Pep there, and they're still going down, even when he took over. Vardy's one of the best ever Premier League signings, pound for pound. A brilliant player, terrific signing. But they're still relying on him now to score the goals. And the fact that is why they're going down.
Yeah, and I think as good as our performance was, I don't think it was a great performance. I think it was just a standard, what we normally would see from the kind of sideways, and then try and break them down. And Martin's having a good old fit.
Again. Now we're crying out a boring win. City fans are
No.
not happy at anything. They're no. This year. Hence,
Martin, who said
number one?
Yeah, no one on the panel said they're not happy with an easy win. They were all very happy. Well, but it's true. I mean,
it was so bad.
We're happy.
Why they were energy when
embarrassing. They were an embarrassment. An embarrassment to the club. It really was.
We should have won 9-0. Can't win. You know what?
Hang on, Martin. Who said 9-0? Who said we should have scored 9? I'm sorry, everybody, but it seems that Martin needs to have his little meltdown, thinking everyone's saying something completely different.
My meltdown's coming in a bit.
It'll probably be around.
Anyway, good evening. Normal subjects, normal regime will now resume. Ozzy, get in the back seat. Right, okay. Drivers are off. Let's roll. Good evening.
Sorry, Mr. ITK Dictator's back.
Here he comes. Whoa. No, in all seriousness, all jokes aside. Lee Gates, thank you very much. It was great to see you last night. Thank you so much, mate, for your very generous donation. Sorry if it did seem rudely. I was trying to get to my missus as well, because my missus did not get involved in the protest. So she stood there for about 40 minutes while we were involved in the protest. So she was cold and freezing and wanted to get going into the stadium. So that was why.
You do know that the protest was just for 9 minutes. You didn't have to stay on the concourse.
No. The protest outside Aussie wasn't for 9 minutes. That was from 7 o'clock, so however long it went on.
I'll tell you one thing, Martin. I'm glad I didn't miss the Grealish goal.
Well, actually, I think it made it even better than scoring. Yeah, because you know what, mate? That's what happens. That's what happens. Take the soul out of the club, score all the goals you want in an empty stadium. Thank you very much for the also super chat. Kogo Hayashi. Say your name correctly, mate. Thank you for backing the Asian girl. Yes. That I am going to talk about that this evening because I have seen the tweet. That tweet has caused so many issues because one dickhead, one idiot decided to make the whole thing about them because clearly for some weird reason, there was no other reason that tweet went out. You clearly did not understand the protest. You clearly did not understand the whole point of it. You put a tweet out and got the whole of social media buzzing and melting down over something that was not even about. You just changed the whole parameters of the whole debate. So, yeah, that wasn't what it was about. It wasn't about foreign fans, but we'll come on to that in a bit. But thank you so much. I do appreciate that. She did not deserve that hate at all. It was disgusting and bang out of order. And I've had people say to me, why did I not call it out? Because I don't do these big things. I don't put tweets out. I'll do it when we're here on the camera. Not on Twitter. I don't live my life on Twitter. I do spaces and come away. Don't live my life on Twitter. Because I think it's a cesspool, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it's a cesspool for the obvious reason. So it was disgusting what happened. Anyway, Leicester. Yeah, carry on.
No, Martin. You know, have your say on Leicester. You know, you were late. So you
I thought it
your
was
moment
late.
to shine.
First half were really good. Really, really good. Second half, thought Leicester were just made it a boring game. And thing is with City, why exert energy when you don't need to? Didn't need to do anything. There was no danger. Knock the ball around and let's make it boring. It wasn't great for the fans. I know that. Atmosphere was dead. Second half especially, it was freezing cold. I'm sat there in a pair of shorts because it was nice and sunny at the beginning of the game, and then suddenly went freezing. So that was fun. So yeah, it was what it was. I'm one of them. We got the squad rotated around. Yeah, I agree. O'Reilly didn't look as good as he did on Sunday because he had jack to do. O'Reilly, Edison, the whole back line could have basically come off, gone and had a sauna, relaxed and come back on, and Leicester still weren't doing anything. They took Vardy off because he's a dirty little bastard, because he tried taking Mamouche out 3 times. And Mamouche was, by the way, was rubbing his thigh every single time the ball was out of play. So I hope his thigh muscle is actually all right. Top of his thigh and his left leg kept rubbing it. And that was where obviously Jamie Vardy, you know, and he got the chant, Jamie Vardy, your wife's a grass, wherever it was. Yeah, we were joking about that, which was fun. I tried singing on my own in the North Stand. I did try. Didn't work. I looked a bit of a plonker. Stood there on my own trying to sing. But yeah, listen, I'm happy for Grealish to get his goal.
Probably while he's on his own, Rich. We're all like,
and really, Mamouche's finish was exquisite to keep that down as well. You did see the difference in Mamouche and Haaland. Mamouche, we noticed, didn't jump into the box a lot. He sort of stayed at the edge of the box or just a little bit behind. And obviously that isn't what Haaland does. So it was different. It was a little bit different. I've heard all the arguments today. Did we play better with or without Haaland? For Christ's sake, you know, Haaland's a world superstar. But yes, they are different. They are different. And that's the whole point of it. So, you know, for me, I'm quite glad we've got that little bit of diversity, a little bit of difference, a little bit of shaking it up, plan B, whatever we can do. Happy with them all. Glad Kushinov got a nice rest as well. Because I think he probably needed it. Good to get Victor Hayes on. Thought McAtee was good when he came on. Thought McAtee actually looked quite lively when he came on. Thought it was a routine win. If City were in first gear that second half, if City needed to win, if that needed goal difference, City could have gone and blitzed 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
they just didn't. They didn't want to exert energy. You could see that, which I know doesn't make for a great spectacle. But when you're playing 3 games in 7 days, screw it. You know, the amount of injuries we've had this season, screw it. If you can have an easy ride, have an easy ride. Take the points, go home. Protest. Has anyone got anything they want to add on Leicester? Because I know
I was
just going to the Leicester game.
I was just going to say Gundo. I thought he was man of the match. I thought he's excellent.
You lying little sod. You've had 80 goals with his I love Gundo when he's been slagging him off for 3 months.
No. Gundo's had a sneaky good couple of months, actually. And yesterday, I just thought he was very, very good. But with Nico G next to him as well, which is much needed. Without him, he's not as good as he, you know, he's not as good nowadays. But I just thought he was brilliant, Gundo, last night. Really, really good.
I tell you what was really good actually on that point of yours, Tone, is that Nico was able to kind of let Gundo be Gundo, give him the freedom to play those balls forward rather than having to worry about being defensive. Even though there wasn't a lot of defensive anyway, but it just gave him the freedom to do that because
better so, mate.
Nico was able to mop anything up that needed to be mopped up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man of the match for everyone.
Gundo.
And then we'll really get into the fiery debate because me and Tony have already had an hour and a half of this today.
Yeah, I do just want to point out.
I swatted him down earlier on when he started giving me the financial side of the world.
Yeah, but City Ultra, that was a good message, that. City Ultra 89, spot on. Correct. Sorry. I got hammered.
Carry on. Man of the match. Ozzy, he was your man of the match. Because like I said, you didn't think it was Grealish.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't think anybody had a standout game, if I'm perfectly honest. So it went to Grealish because he got the goal to begin with, which kind of just set the tone of the game, really, because after 1-0, I didn't think Leicester did anything that was going to threaten that 1-0. So we could have gone the whole game just being 1-0 and still won. So, I mean, I'm kind of in Tone's camp, really. I think Gundo had another excellent game for him, you know, at his current level. So I could see why, and I could give it to Gundo. But really and truly, I don't think anybody had a man of the match performance.
Yeah, I mean, I was almost saying I thought Nico was good, just, you know, hasn't he let Gundo play and he was kind of everywhere quietly and nothing really got past him. So, but, you know, it wasn't inspiring. It was, you know, it was, yeah. I mean, man of the match was Reid van Nistelrooy for giving up before the game, telling his players they're not allowed to go more than 20 metres from their goal. And, you know, when you're scoring a minute in that game, it's like, you know, honestly, you could have put the four of us on that team at the back and we'd have probably kept a clean sheet. Would have been comical. Yeah.
Really would have
Man of the match last night with the fans.
Make Vardy look young. Yeah.
Bollocks to Vardy. He's having no party because his wife's a grass. Anyway, right. Yeah. Man of the match made fans. Right. Yeah. One thing I will say, Oscar Bob, that was such an emotional moment, by the way. My God, you thought Lionel Messi was coming on the way he got that standing ovation last night. It was like, I don't know whether the fans were cold, and it was like, hey, bit of warm, here we go. But it was like so good to see him.
Yeah.
And I know everyone thinks I'm anti-Echeverri. I'm not. My issue was, can we get Oscar Bob into the squad before we're even talking about an Argentinian kid? Let's get Oscar Bob back in first. But anyway, right. So one thing has been confirmed. Yeah, it looks like Cheeky is going to stay on through the summer and help. There looks like they're going to do a bit of a tag team. People are suggesting there's going to be that many deals. It will take two of them to get all this sorted out. One can wing off somewhere to do one negotiation. The other one can wing off somewhere else to do a negotiation. So, yeah, and then it looks like he is going to extend it for a month or 6 weeks, whenever it is, which I'm not surprised at, probably with the Club World Cup. Doesn't surprise me. And then he'll go at the start of the season, and Bian is then fully in charge. Right. Protest, which has caused World War 3, 4, 5, and 6 today. People need to understand this protest was nothing about foreign fans. I know that is how people have perceived it and they've understood it, and because it was never about that. The fight for local fans and the foreign fans is exactly the same. For the genuine fans abroad who are genuine City fans and want to get to the games, it's all for you as well. That is what has been totally missed. So yes, that tweet today was bang out of order on that poor girl. Bang out of order. The fight is about prices. Having no more season tickets, etc., etc. This is about someone from in America or India or Australia being able to afford to come over 10, 12 times if they want. Not it's only available to you once a year because we're going to charge you an arm and a leg to come over, you know. So you're going to have to save up 12 months to come and have your one of a year time. Why can't they come 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year? Make it affordable for them to come 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a year. And also keep the legacy of the club going through the fans who've been there for 30, 40, 50, 60 years as well. It is a balance. And that is what the fight is about. It is not about local fans telling the foreign fans to piss off. What you're doing is you're making your own little game. Because, by the way, I got told by a foreign fan today that me and Luke, City Luke TV, were a pair of clowns and we need to piss off. Me and Tone have been told with the main road clan, we need to piss off. So it's going on both sides. It needs to stop. We are all Manchester City fans. Now, where the breakdown has come today is, it seems there's, especially you can tell the people who work in finance. You can tell the people who work in finance. Because all I've heard today are all the financial people, all the accountants, all the people in the world have jumped on and gone, because this is what I have noticed. The people who are having to go at the fans protesting are the people who are the financial people. And you can laugh and you can squirm down there in the bottom right all day long, mate, sunshine. But you know I'm true. Because the first time you hear the defense of, you get, but it's, we don't look at, I know we're making profit, but what's the difference between profit and bottom line? And they start giving you all this gift gaff. They start telling you that we're building a women's training ground and we're building all this. There's not fans like me and Ozzy, boots on the ground. We're not financial guys. We go to watch Manchester City. My job, 9 to 5, wish it was 9 to 5, is not sat in the financial market of London. I am sorry, I don't get, this is what we're saying. Give us a bit more communication and a bit more clarification, and then we can understand the finances then. What we're saying is, why does the cream have to come off the top of the fans? You're announcing year upon year upon year upon year. Shut up. I've had this written down. My speech has been going. No, shut up. I'll mute you all.
Why does the cream get taken off the top of the fans? Is that Brill cream or, or is it moisturising cream?
You ruined it.
You ruined it yourself, mate.
No, piss off. It's all you and your dirty minds.
You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it take off its shorts.
Piss now. Right, I'll tell you what, while I'm doing my speech. Right, okay, here we go. I'll do it this way. Simple fact is, if they're going to start taking the piss and making it dirty because their minds are in the gutter, ain't my fault. You know what I mean? Right, let's bring them back. Simple fact. Hang on, let's get that back to where it was. Right, the simple fact here is what I'm saying is, understand why the protests happen before you open your mouths and try and say things. No, the everyday fan does not know the finances of the club. Why? Because they don't fully get going into it. Do you think I've got time in the day to sit and start looking up City's financials? That's why I read Stefan Borson and things like that. This is why I will listen to them. Yeah. I understand there's a 115 investigation going on. I understand they're doing ATP. I get all that.
Hang on a minute. Were you the person who read the cash report?
Yes. No. I'm not.
I don't have the time to read these things. How long was the cash report?
But I'm not financially. Ozzy, all I hear is, what I'm trying to say is, with all the finances we've got, Does it need to be, do you need to charge fans an extra 20, 30 quid? Do you need to do that when it can come from someone else? It can come from a £1 million sponsorship deal somewhere else. You don't need to go to the fans. But why not have a new season ticket for 5 years? But why do Flexi Gold? And then do Flexi Gold. Flexi Gold is fine, but why are you charging £150 to get one? Just to get one before you've even bought a ticket anywhere, you've got to pay £150 just to get the privilege of being allowed one. Why go with 9 resellers? So what I have done, I did take some videos last night. By the way, I've had people who are friends of mine who have decided they don't want to be friends with me anymore over all this. Difference of opinion. This is how far this has gone. Yeah. Which is a bit sad. I will say that. But this was what was going on last night. That was at the very beginning of it. With Dante saying the 894 and other people. And then it got bigger. And this is what it went to. Excuse the language. Yeah. And then this was it inside the concourse during the night. Yeah, and I know, Steve, you're being a sarky sod, hating those filming at the ground, and then you're doing that. Done for a purpose. I wasn't filming the game, mate. Yeah. So, yes. Why are you laughing down there?
The concourse one, I wasn't sure what you were showing, to be honest.
I was trying to show.
There's no
Concourse?
sod in there.
Yes, there was. Hey, have a look at the videos. There was loads. And
I know there was. I know there was. But on
that's why we were singing one to the empty seats.
Yeah, but it was that video you showed. You like pointed for about 20 seconds at a bloody wall.
No, I was showing the clock. I was showing the clock.
Yeah, it's no David Attenborough.
Yes, I did see how it was. So yes, so that's what it was about. I don't understand, and I got sent something, which I think is a very good point there. And well, I'm going to shut up in a minute and let you lot go at it. I think it's a very good point. Is Manchester City has got what 130 odd years of history, Rich? You'll know this more than me.
Well, more than that, more like
1874, 1879, whatever it was, not 1894.
Yeah, so more like 100, getting on for 145 or something.
Yeah.
So it's like
somewhat 145. I get they've taken over CFG. Some teams like New York City, etc., have just been made. And here you go. You're part of the CFG group. I get it. We've got over 140 years of history sat behind us. Very different. Don't treat us like a CFG club. That's what we're trying to say. Don't come out with statements of, I want City to be Disneyland. And a Sergio Aguero's Mickey Mouse. As I said to someone today, and I won't name them, I said, choose your favourite holiday destination. A while to save up for, a year, 2 years, save up for. Is that how you want City? You've got to save up a year or 2 years to come and watch us. No. We're not saying don't go up with inflation. I get things go up with inflation, but City aren't Disney World. We're not Bali. We're not Jamaica. We're not the Maldives. where you go and have a once in a lifetime experience. And this isn't just City problem, it's a football problem. So I get all the accountants and the financial guys will all come at me now. I know they will. So I'm going to shut up and let them go. Sorry, him go, because I know Rich, the finance guy, and he's with us. So piss off, Toad.
I do just want to say one thing, actually. You said earlier on, finance guys and having a go at people with the protest. I'm not having a go at anyone who's protested. I'm definitely not having a go at anyone that's done the protest. I'm all for why they're doing it. I get why they're doing it. So before that agenda starts bloody well being raised,
I want to know if he's the agenda here with creamy finance. What?
Yeah.
On here? Whoa.
Ever since that
Close to your agenda.
I think you're watching a different show here, Faye.
Get some cream on my head.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like cream, Rich. That looks like something else on your head. I'll take it off, mate.
Well, it isn't cream. Actually, it's advertising, isn't it?
Ozzy knows exactly what that does look like on the top of your head. Don't put it on your fob, mate. Yeah, it didn't look like that, Rich. It didn't look like that. He will start getting called a dickhead.
The cream rises to your head, and then it gets taken away by City. Yeah. City would probably take that away as well.
Wait, stop. Your mind's in the gutter. Go on, Tom.
2-0 to Chelsea, by the way. The finance stuff. Look, yeah, finance stuff it's because people have a go at Soriano and they jump straight on him. And my point was, Soriano, for the job he's paid to do, is doing an amazing job. Check the City revenue. Yeah. So the people that jump at him, he is doing his job and he's doing it incredibly well. Now, some people want to run the club emotionally and through, the fans and how they feel, and all the local fans and season ticket holders that are all over the country and some in Europe and so on who come over for every game, and the prices of the match tickets and all that. That's fine, but I always point at the other side, which is the money side, which some people don't like, and I get it, and they don't care. They don't give a shit. But Manchester City is not. I worded this badly, I thought, on the spaces when I said they're not from Manchester or something like that.
His exact words: "You're not Manchester City anymore.
You're a global city. You are. Manchester City are not the team we all supported growing up.
No, and I agree with that.
Yeah, they're completely different.
But people abroad have to come to Manchester Tone to watch it.
Well, yeah, but what's wrong with that?
No one's saying there's out wrong with that. So we are still Manchester City.
Well, yeah, of course, it's Manchester City. They're based in Manchester, but what I'm saying is the club is not Manchester City that we knew. Manchester City was mainly.
Nobody's asking for that.
This
No one's asking for it to be like it was in 1998.
No, but Manchester City was more local, loyal, season ticket holder fans. Now it's not. And I think some people still look at it as in the local, loyal, season ticket holders only type thing.
No,
it's not.
Everyone I've spoken to, no one sees it that way.
I've seen some. I'm not saying anyone from the protest, I don't know, but I have seen some messages, and I think some people can't get their head around that Man City are an enormous global club now. We're in the top of all these lists of revenue and all the rest of it, and most watched team in the US because we won bloody shitloads of trophies. We've got some of the best players on the planet. We've got Pep, the best coach of all time. All these people come, we win all this sort of stuff, and a part of that success will be more fans, because that is what happens. We're not the most watched team in the US if we're in 12th every season. We're the most watched because we win. We win and buy Haaland and all the rest of it, and that will increase ticket prices. That is part of it. Is success breeds that, and it's supply and demand. And
how come we're more than Liverpool and United then?
What City are?
Because we are.
City's average match tickets.
match day ticket is £60 odd.
Yeah,
That
Martin.
Who's had more
Martin.
success?
On the Liverpool
Lately.
United, on the
Yeah.
United one,
Liverpool have
play
won 6
more-
Champions League, Gozza.
Martin, do you pay the same
Lately.
for a Ferrari as you pay for a 10-year-old Skoda? I mean, United are lucky they don't have to pay people to go and watch that crap.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Liverpool, fair, but you do have to go to Liverpool. So, that's got to be, 30% discount or 50% discount on Manchester.
Let's not do that tonight, Rich. It's not about that. Bloody hell.
That's going
Jesus,
Alan
it's like having
territory.
Alan back. You're going to start getting banned on Liverpool shows the way you're going on.
That's like, banning me from North Korea. I mean, it's like,
whoa, Rich.
Well, I mean,
Oh, God.
I've never been on a
Jesus,
Liverpool
Rich.
channel in my life. I'm never going to go. So banning me is like...
Can I just add there, right, that I have no problem with the
I
people
apologise for
protesting.
got offended by that then.
Yeah, I have no problem with the people protesting. I'm just trying to bring up the people that I've seen that have a go at the Sorianos of the world that are doing an unbelievable job of doing their job. They're not there to worry about the sort of season ticket holders and all that sort of thing. That'd be somebody else's job, not his. And the amount of people that have a go at Soriano, he seems to be the one getting the most flack.
Yeah, because he's the one who called us Disneyland.
But somebody said on the spaces earlier, Man City are not Barcelona, but Man City are. But we are at that table with Barcelona now. We're at the right now. We're at the table with the Barças, the Reals, the Liverpools, and all the rest of it. And Bayern. That is where this club are now. We are.
I'll tell you what it is, Tone. Fans are scared of losing the success.
Well, of course, we all want City to be successful.
So, right, no, I didn't support this club for success, Tone.
Yeah, but we still want them to be successful.
Yes, but if it goes tomorrow, it goes. My love for City doesn't go, mate.
Yeah, if the 115 loses, we
so
drop
why
3
is the
divisions.
affair?
We'll be
Why is
here.
the affair of that?
Well, because we like the success. There's nothing wrong with liking
So
it.
we
We
become
shouldn't feel
everything we
guilty.
swore we would never become then.
No, why should we win the league and go, oh, I wish we hadn't done that. I wish we were still shit
No one's
like we were
saying
in the 90s.
no one's saying we shouldn't have done that. But I'm here for the love, mate.
Of course, I saw mine.
I'm not here because of shiny. I'm not here because I get to brasso a shiny trophy at the end of May. Bollocks to that. I'd rather have sold a trophy.
I think you need to step back though, because this is a problem at City, but it's a problem.
A lot of fans are stepping back.
Rich. It's a Premier League problem. The Premier League is attempting to be. Yeah, the Premier League is attempting to be the biggest money driving sports thing on the planet, and the Premier League is up against the NBA, the NFL, the Champions League, and a few other things to be the biggest generator of money for media, club owners, players, and everything else there is on the planet. We've seen Haaland's contract, for example. That's like an NBA or a baseball contract, and that is what they're trying to do. And unfortunately, when you have an organization which is privately owned by businesses that's trying to become the biggest entertainment business on the planet, and it's thinking of itself against, you've mentioned Disneyland or against the NBA, the ordinary supporter is going to be taken out of it. I don't know how much ordinary support there is in a lot of, American sports, in a lot of other events like that. And it's a massive problem. I think if you want the old City, you probably have to get a Division 1 to get that now, because though the Championship still has a lot of that going, the Championship is attempting to be, like the Premier League. I mean, even non-league clubs are getting taken over by Hollywood stars and turned into TV shows. And that is unfortunately what it is. But most people don't see football, and none of us see football as a business. We don't judge football against spending on our car or spending on our, where you can swap for another product or another service because you don't like it, because you're tied into that from birth. And So therefore, you can't look at it as any other thing you spend money on, because you can't change. You can't say, "Oh, City have put the prices up. I'm going to go to Stockport," or Stockport put the prices up. I'm going to buy half City, half Stockport. You don't do that. You're stuck in for life. And so you've got this. Yeah, but well, yeah, it may happen a bit. You know, you saw it happen with.
Can I just bring someone in who wants to gate crash this?
Yeah, and that's a sad reality.
Good evening, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, can hear you loud and clear. This is not set up, by the way.
No, it's not. I was running a bath. And, well, first of all, I was waiting 10 minutes for you to fucking turn up. So that was the first thing.
Busy. I still had chills from last night. I was freezing.
Yeah, but I just wanted to, and I'm not here to disrupt the show, but I just wanted to come on and just sort of, I was listening to your debate there, especially like Tame, who said a lot of good things about sort of our group and stuff over the years and stuff as well. And he was saying, you know, do I lay the blame at Soriano and stuff. I just want to say a couple of things back, really.
Of course.
Nobody is like comparing the club to like 1999 or 2008, and we know what the club want to do, but that ground has not been full for any game this season, including the derby. Supply and demand comes when surely every single match at that stadium, whether it's Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League, League Cup, is full. And if you've got 15, 20,000 empty seats at a lot of the games which you have, basically they're losing out on £1 million worth of revenue at each game. So their idea of we'll keep the prices high because it's a premium product, you know, we're not there. That they have hit a limit in terms of PR and in terms of what people can afford, and that's been proven this year. So as soon as the form dips, a lot of the day trippers won't come, and if the regulars are priced out, you're going to get empty seats galore. So this thing about, it's not down to Soriano, he's the one who's driving this whole change in terms of the way the tickets are sold. So now we have the tickets sold for match. First of all, the match day prices are absolutely ridiculous, as proven by they can't sell the stadium out. But then they sell the tickets all in one go at the start of the season. So you've got like a window of a few hours where if you have that season ticket, you want to pay for all 19 games in one go. That's probably going to cost you about £1,300. People haven't got that sort of money. So anybody can buy those tickets, then they end up on some of these ticket sites, and there's no control over the tickets. So they're not bothered who gets the tickets. They're not doing it for us anymore. They're doing it, for themselves. They're not taking us with them. So it's the whole thing that Martin made a point there about City Football Group. We put something on the Twitter today, about Nuria, who's Soriano's number 2, came with Spanair, the company that went bankrupt when they were kind of involved there years ago. Yes, they've got a plan to make us grow the fan base. Growing the fan base is one thing. Manufacturing the fan base is another. You can't manufacture a fan base because you can't get loyalty. So if they're not selling out that stadium, you may as well have more season ticket holders up until the point where that ground, and it's 62,000 next season, if there's 62,000 tickets sold and 62,000 people in attendance, then you can turn around and say, do you know what? Supply and demand here. We can put prices up because we know that it's a sought after product. They're not selling the ground out, so that's all I'd like to say. I'm not here for an argument with you. None of us are financial experts, but they've got to read the room. You can't have a handful of billionaires and multimillionaires on one side of the in football, 60, 70 people in football, and then they're saying, I think the ticket prices should be £500 a ticket, and then you've got the whole of the country with a campaign called Stop Exploitation saying, no, you're talking bollocks, mate. Actually, the prices are too high. So who's right? A handful of billionaires or the rest of the country? And no fans asked for this. We all wanted success, but no fans asked for the way football has gone, which is 1988, 89. You've got the first PLCs in football. So that's Tottenham and Man United, Irving Scholar and Martin Edwards. You become a PLC. Okay. So, anybody could take over clubs. Before that, you had Jimmy Hill with the minimum wage got changed up in the 70s. You were to share the gate receipts between home and away clubs. Everything, and Soriano is the guy that took us into the Super League. Everything is short-term thinking, make money now. In a year or two's time, Soriano will fuck off somewhere else and do another. It'll probably work at Disney or something like that, and it'll probably make them even worse. While the people who own the club, if you like, are us five, the people who have got emotional attachments to the club, we'll be there when these fuckers have gone. They'll be off doing their next vanity project. They own the paperwork, we own the club. And I'll tell you now, there's still a long way to go with the club. They will have had a shock last night. However, the people that they won't just go, oh, okay, that's it, we'll just give in straight away. It's going to take repeat and stuff. And everybody who sits on the sidelines needs to wake up and thinks, oh, well, I need to get behind the team. You get behind the team. But if you don't know anything about it now, there's no point moaning about it on Twitter. There's no point moaning about it in the pub. Get off your fucking arse and do something. Anyway, that's all I'd like to say. Have a great show.
Cheers, Dan.
Unless there's something else you want to say, I don't know.
No, Rich, do you want to say?
Yeah.
Go on, if anyone wants to respond.
I suppose you need to write a reply, don't you? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do have our finance expert on, Dan, so...
It's your show after all.
Dan loves Rich. He thinks Rich talks the most sense on it. He thinks I talk garbage.
No, I mean, I agree with the sentiment. I just worry that the answer is going to be Premier League fans going to lower division clubs to get the experience they want from the game, because I do think, and this is not City, this is the Premier League. The Premier League is up there thinking it's competing with Netflix and the NBA and the NFL, and every day that happens, every time the players get paid more, every time they become bigger stars, every time TV deals go up, the fans at the game, even the ones paying 200 quid for a ticket, become less and less important. And it's like NBA now. You look at I'm not a big basketball fan, but if you ever see LA, it's just Hollywood stars and tourists coming in paying $500 US dollars or $1,000 US dollars to watch people who've been paid 10 million a season to play a basketball game for 45 minutes. And I can't say I've been to a basketball game, or at least not for about 20 years, but it's not a support local community thing anymore. It's nothing about that still going. And I think sadly that is happening in the Premier League, and even more so in the Champions League, because I was back a couple of years ago, I went to a Premier League game Saturday, Champions League Wednesday. There was at least 10,000-15,000 different crowd at the Champions League than at the Premier League. In terms of younger fans not from, not even City fans for the Champions League. And I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people who are, people who have second teams who are starting to take more interest in their Championship or even Division 1, Division 2 team, because they can go there, they can pay 20 quid for a ticket, they can sing songs, have a laugh, not take the success too seriously because they're watching pretty bad football against someone else playing pretty bad football, but it's still enjoying it and doing that. And I think I've got a couple of mates like that, massive football fans, and they don't go and watch they now support their second teams. They don't.
It's sad, isn't it? It's sad the way it's gone. It's sad. And do you know what as well? The financial experts, if you like, argument is, look at America, look at the prices of American stuff. Why do we need to compare ourselves to what goes on in America? It's a different country. You don't have a way travelling support because it's so big. And certain sports have far less games. It's all based for TV in the first place.
Yeah. Fans are 100%.
Why aren't we comparing ourselves to the Bundesliga, Germany? Bayern Munich season ticket, the cost of football in that country proves that you do not need to keep ramping up ticket prices here unless it's all about greed. And that's simply what it is. So, as I made the point there, I said this on another website, I think, thing of the day. If I go on a train to London, I'll get a meal deal at Manchester Piccadilly. It's £4.50. I go into Smith at Euston 2 hours later. It's £7.80. It's the same units. We're buying the same amount of stuff as Spurs, but their revenue will be higher than ours because they're in London. The balance sheet doesn't account for regional variances. So we're always going to be behind on that. But what they're doing is using that. We want to make that number one on the matchday revenues, and it shows they don't understand the fan base. You made a point there, Martin, which I totally agree with, which is we are a club with 130 years history, and there is an existing fan base which just needs to be nurtured. And if we've got all this new worldwide, why aren't people actually in the stadium? they're not connecting with people in the stadium, and we're not wrong. We're right. You know, they need to. They've got their way of doing it, and they want to just go. They want to make us, if you like, successful in their own right. What they want to do, but it's at all costs. It's at the cost of the identity and everything to do with the club. It will become Disneyland. It will become just Disneyland. Will have 50,000 different people in going every day from all over the world, pay an absolute fortune, and there's some bell end dressed as Mickey Mouse, and let's have a £300 meal, stay in a £600 hotel, and then let's fuck off. And then we say to the kids, did you enjoy that? Well, no, actually, it was a bit shit, really. Oh, well, we'll have to go again. But then, like, we'll just do that to everybody. And that's what football will become. So there's no point saying, oh, well let's get behind him. People like Soriano doing a good job. He bankrupts Spanair. He's just... the guy is not he is not the genius. Pep is the one who wins trophies, gets the prize money. He decides what to spend based on those figures. If Pep wasn't there, he wouldn't be in football because he's just Pep's mate. You know, he's Chicky's Pep's mate, and Soriano kind of tags along. You know, it's like a group of three mates. You got two close mates, and you got one other guy at the end. So, can I be your friend? That's what's happening. Without Pep, none of these guys would be in a job.
But the problem, you think on Germany from a fan's point of view is bang on. But in Germany, there's probably 18 of the 20 clubs in their top division are run from the fans, and it's about the game, not about making money. I think there's probably about 2 or 3 clubs in the Bundesliga who are there to make money. I would be surprised if there's not 19, maybe 20. Maybe I'm being too fair. There's probably 20 clubs in the Premier League who are there to make money for their owners as long-term investments. We have sold the game out as a business, and they look at it now like it is a, you know, they could be looking at it. So many of the owners are, this is Disney against Netflix. This is this against this, because they are there because they want to make their investment as big as possible. They want to have this massive global entertainment product. And that sadly has absolutely nothing to do with the fans, because now using AI, they can even recreate on television whatever atmosphere they want to create in terms of an entertainment product on TV.
That's what they'll probably
yeah,
do.
Oh, they absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, Liverpool do it. Liverpool do it with their
singing the same song.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, a tape recorder playing "You'll Never Walk Alone" at Anfield's going to be small fry compared to what's coming in football, and so apart from the people at the game, everyone's going to think, that's just such an amazing atmosphere. They'll fill in. They're now able to fill in empty seats if they want on the TV. You know, AI can fill in the seats, so they can do anything with that, what they see as a product, they want.
So it's not football then. Then they don't become football.
Well,
What do you think what do you think City should be given the fact that we don't even sell out the stadium when we've just won 4 leagues in a row and the treble less than 2 years ago? What do you think that the club should be charging, and what do you think the limit is on ticket prices?
Well, I don't know about how much and things. I mean, it'll be based on, you know, who we play and all that sort of thing. You know, United will be whatever it is. I don't even know what it is now for a match ticket to United. I know it's £81 for Bournemouth at home, which is disgusting. Look, I just want to be clear, Dan. Firstly, love the work you do. I say it on all the shows, say it on Twitter and all that sort of thing. So I'm definitely not having a go at you or any of people that are protesting. It seems to be this thing that's going around. I'm definitely not. I'm behind all of the stuff you're doing and why you're doing it. I get it. I think I'm looking at it, trying to look at it for a debate purpose of Soriano, for example. You mentioned there about 60,000 different people turning up every week, but 60,000 people, I'm not saying this is right, I hate the idea, but those 60,000 people turning up every week paying extortionate amounts is what the money men want. But even that's not going to happen, because they're not getting 55,000 now. They're not even getting 50,000. What they really want is, but sorry, Rich, Soriano and the money men would rather have 100 people in at 80 quid a ticket than 200 at 30, if you see what I'm saying. They're not bothered with some empty seats. The overall match day revenue, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure this is right, has gone up. So Dan, just to be clear again, I don't like it. I do not like it at all. But I'm trying to look at it from the point of view of the money side. That is the only side I'm bringing up to say that this is why they're doing it, because of it. They're there to make money. Soriano may well have made other companies bankrupt and all the rest of it. But to be fair, in terms of the money side at Manchester City, from what I can see from the outside looking in, his job, he has done well.
Yeah, but he's not doing it that well because his job is to maximise revenue. But if you piss off your client base, your customer base, and he's done that with the Super League, where he took us into the Super League and then backtracks because he thought that was going to be strengthen the club's position. He then lost a load of fans over Istanbul, where we had a terrible time getting out of the ground, 6 hours to get a cup of water, and he didn't give a shit because he wants to cement his relationship with Seferin. And now we've got this situation where they're dragging dragging the heels over ticketing, and not just the prices, all the other side of things in terms of communication. And he might want to entice, richer fans, newer fans. Newer fans, they won't even get a chance to make an emotional connection with the club because they'll have such a bad experience coming to the ground. They'll never come again. So eventually, you say you won't run out of people because there's 8 billion people in the world, but fill the ground every week with full attendance, then you can turn around and say, do you know what? With these prices that we're charging, we've got them absolutely right, but they haven't got them right. They have not got them right, and that's the starting point.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd go one step further. If you're looking at pricing for sport and you're seeing it in music now, what everyone is working on is the ability to charge every single fan a different price, and like airlines now. You can have 300 people on a plane and no one's paid the same price because they're using what they know about you. That technology being worked on in the US, looking at how when you drive into a drive-through, they can change the price based on if you're coming in a Ferrari or if you're coming in a battered old car. Some airlines now, depending on the cookies they've got for you, can charge a different price because, if you've been doing searches for Mercedes and business class flights, they might know from your history that they can charge you, a bit more than if, you're a student who's been looking at discount flights. And that is what I guarantee you, that is what every organisation in the world is looking at, is how do we get the most money out of every single fan? And that will mean there'll be some fans they know we can't get 50 quid out of, but they might sell the ticket next to that person for 100. I'm sure that's why they're doing Viagogo and stuff, because they can, when a season ticket holder gives up their ticket, they can then try and sell it for more. And that's not City, that'll be every single major.
No, I think we're doing it more though. We're doing it more because they're driven by this match day revenue and they want to be for some reason they obviously they're ambitious. They want us to be the number one club in the world. That's what they said when they came in. And on the pitch we have been. We're still the world champions. And 2 years ago we were the number one for revenue overall, the treble year with the money. I think we went down to second with Real Madrid. But to compete, we're not gonna do that through match day revenue. That can't be done unless we're all replaced by. And I say, we might be occasional supporters here. You get over once, twice a year. We're all replaced by completely different people, and I'm talking about the people watching it all the time here. You guys at home watching this,
they can never charge what London does. They'll never get the corporate revenue team in London.
We're doing it now. And if they want, they would love to do dynamic pricing. And obviously what we don't trust is, a season ticket. Oh, you coughed. You dropped a sweetie paper on the floor. Right, you're banned. Let's get that ticket. And no, it doesn't go to on the Citizens thing. It'll go to wherever. And that person, where did you get your ticket from? Oh, live football tickets. Well, I thought they were only supposed to get it in the hospitality bit. Well, I don't know. Don't know how it ended up there, but I've paid £395 and want to watch the game. So that's where it's going. I think the fans don't trust the club on the transparency side of it. There's a load of things they need to take seriously, and I'll just say, because I've got to go and run my bath now. It's sit on your hands and do nothing, or make a stand. At least again, I don't think the divide is a massive divide between the fans. The fans that did the protest were not respected by the fans who kind of didn't, and the ones who didn't were respected by the fans that did. There's a lot of noise on Twitter. There's a lot of people who who don't even go to the game, arseholes, people from different clubs, racists. There's all sorts of things on there. You cut through, we're all blues, we're all on the same side. So anyway, I'll let you go for the evening. Thanks for
Dan,
letting me. Yes, mate.
Can I
go on.
come very quickly? I don't want your bath to go cold, mate. But can I just say, when I've got one of these citizen card things now, when I go on at the start of the season, if I don't get a ticket for a game on the day they go out or a day or two, I go on 3 or 4 days later and I look at a game in February, March. I mean, it can be Palace at home or whoever. You can't get a bloody ticket. You can ask anyone who's got one. Sold out. You cannot even get a single in any stand at that point. Now, what I was going to say was, and I agree with you with the price. Definitely, it's outrageous. But Leicester last night, loads of empty seats. That's fine. Are those seats empty if City are a point ahead at the top of the table right now in a title race? I would probably argue not. So I don't think it's just. I'm with you on the prices. But
you need to look at the footage of the stadium over the last 5-6 years, because even when we've been top of the league, we're still getting criticised for being empty seats. And they'll turn around and say,
do we know how many of the empty seats are season ticket holders who haven't turned up?
No, we don't know. The club are trying to push out.
Because they're suggesting they're sold, aren't they?
The club are trying to push out something like the season tickets are a problem, and that's why we need to get rid of them, and that's why we need to get Flexi Gold. But the reason they've introduced Flexi Gold is simply because they know that, you know, when that person's not going to the game, that ticket won't go on the packet, that pile again. That'll be sold off on a whatever package. So they've got more tickets at a higher price that they can sell. So we're concerned about the atmosphere. FlexiGold might work for a few people individually. However, the reason we brought it in is not to give fans flexibility, because they don't give a shit about fans. It's actually so they can sell more tickets at a higher price. And you know what you're going to have is, if they expand the Flexi Gold, you'll have more trouble in the stadium, like you've had this season. It'll get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and Arsenal, just to add, Arsenal and even Liverpool fans, I know, Arsenal's especially had a midweek game recently, and there's 10,000 empty seats. And this is Arsenal we're talking about. I know we're here to discuss City, but it is a wider issue with football, as a couple of you have already said.
Chelsea are playing Spurs tonight on a Thursday night, so all of a sudden Thursday night football is now a norm. Sunday night kickoff 8 o'clock is now a norm. You know,
we're playing
I think if you look at this
Friday.
season, we were having Friday 8 o'clock. We've had about. You have 19 league home games a season. You can't actually say at the start of the season, well, I'm going to definitely be able to attend all 19. There's about 14 different kickoff times. There's Tuesday at 7:30, Tuesday at 7:45, Tuesday at 8, Tuesday at 8:15, Wednesday 7:30, Wednesday 7:45, Wednesday at 8, Wednesday 8:15, Thursday at 7:45.
Yeah. Do you not think
Friday
the problem
at 8,
is that
Saturday at half 12, Saturday at 3, Saturday at half 5, Saturday at 7:45, Sunday at 2:15, Sunday at 4, Sunday at 4:30, Sunday at 7:45. And they got Monday nights. So how the fuck is that fair?
Yeah.
Well, I think honestly, Tone, I think the big problem is the Premier League's let it become a one-horse race. It's not competitive. It's a one-horse race, and it's just boring. And
I think Liverpool.
I think fans are turning away from the game this season because they've let it become a one-horse race, and they need to do something to bring Liverpool back to size, and stop it being so boring, because it has been the most boring season in about 20 years this season. And Premier League likes it or not. Although maybe
I don't think we all love the club, but we don't have to defend every decision the club makes. And I think they're out of kilter with, the record profit. There's no need to pass on the incremental charges at this stage. That's not saying we're not, we're ungrateful and anything like that. It's not this. Fill the fucking ground first, and then you've got a legitimate case. But to have 15,000, 20,000 empty seats, and they're losing out on £1 million of revenue from.
Do you know what? The stuff they could do as well. I mean, they could have 2 season tickets. One that's cheaper because your ticket goes on Viagogo or whatever if you don't go, and one that's more expensive that you can transfer to your brother.
We're pretty sure that some of these tickets.
They should look at something. They should look at some ideas to, try and share the benefit between the club and the fan.
They don't want to.
I think they could. I think that could be their best commercial position as well as.
Yeah.
So last night, Leicester returned 1,300 tickets, and the group of us, we all went up into 313 above the Leicester fans in that area there. there was about only about 500-600 of those tickets actually sold. So they were £30 tickets, 25 if you're on citizens.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got the next to you, 5 yards, 314. Those tickets are 61 quid. Now you'd think that those £30 tickets would sell out because they're not a good fair price.
Do you know what? I'm
However,
staggered.
Staggered. So
1,700 Leicester fans paid. I mean, honestly, Leicester was so bad.
Yeah, they were.
How did anyone go?
Yeah, but you've pissed off so many people,
Yeah.
and they move out the habit of going there. Then that would have been local people, you know, because to get in the game in the midweek and you got the school night, so it was going to be more local people. If you like. So that's these people were voting with the feet, and so what they're doing is they were holding out for that 61 quid, but then they ended up giving like we know a lot of free tickets to people because that block didn't sell out, and they give tickets like, you know, international students in Manchester, this sort of thing. So you've not valuing the ticket. It's either too dear, and if then they'll leave it on for too dear until the very last minute, and then it's like giving away. If you give something away for free, that's not going to be valued anyway. That's great to get people in, if you like, on that basis, because they may become City fans, and you know, they're seeing people jumping up and getting involved with the singing. Oh, by the way, Martin, it wasn't completely dead. It might have been at your end, but it was all right at our end actually. But the point about the
You're on
fans,
mute, Martin. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah,
I never said it was dead at my end. This
You
lot said it was dead.
He said
No,
dead
I
enough,
didn't.
and he said the atmosphere died, especially in the second half.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so,
on the
no,
pitch,
yeah, the
on the
atmosphere in the
on
second
the
half.
pitch.
Yeah.
On the pitch, it was dead. Leicester played
Okay.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was literally, I was stood up on my own, Dante, just singing away, looking like a right knobhead, just giving it the big one on my own.
He was in shorts, Dan. So
I
that's
told you,
why
I need to get
he was
over
on his
to have a
own.
phone stand up.
That's the family stand.
But they've done this before, where they keep
All the
they
cream
set
had
the
been
prices-
taken off his head.
They set the match day prices too high, and then they've got absolutely can't shift them. Oh, we need to, you know, you can buy 4, you can buy 8, whatever, and then they're giving away for free. So you'll be turn around and say, well, why are you stopping us trying to sell tickets to each other for face value? Why are you closing down these sites? You either want me to pay 61 quid, but I know if I wait until 5 minutes before the kickoff, I'll just get in for free. You know, the whole it's like they make up the prices as they go along. I disagree with your point, Tone, about if that was top of league, there'd still be issues. We've not been selling out. They say sometimes they'll say the ticket is sold, but that person doesn't turn up. And you can say the match day routine, you know, people that take a long time to get out of the stadium. There's not value for money, you know? And there's a load of things, and that's what the fans are asking about. It's not just one issue. We were just using the via go-go. We turned it into via no-no, then it was via no-show. And the 9 resells means you can walk out the 9th minute. And, you know, that's a warning shot. But we might all have to do things together, and you all need to come on, you know, on the same side. You know what I mean? Because they will just try and divide and conquer us. And they will turn around and say, anyone who's saying, oh, they're trying to weaponize it. Oh, you can't say this and you can't say that. And the 99% of the fans know what it's about. It's not about where you're born or what colour you are, what religion you are.
You're right.
You know, it's about a fair crack at the tickets. And, you know, if we've got 15,000 empty seats and you know, there's 15,000 people from Canada or Kazakhstan what comes to the game, you know, they'll get a ticket. But everybody's got to have a fair chance of getting the ticket in the first place. You know, that's why you have to have a point scheme, a loyalty scheme, and stuff like that. You know, so we think like, you know, they don't want to know about the history. They don't want to know about previous. They just think everything starts with CFG Group, and it's not. You bought a club that already had a history. So you know, you do it when they want to. They bring Paul Dickoff out for everything, and they put Mike Summerby on. They do it when they want to, but then at other times they don't want to. You know, so at the end of the day, they just think we don't spend enough, but they could be getting more money by working with us, and it's like they've written us off. So I'm gonna have to go, but I'll see you soon, Martin. See you soon, guys. Rich, everyone.
Yeah,
nice to see you again. All the best. Great show. Cheers, lads. Bye.
Bye.
Can I just say, by the way, I've just realised something. The person who sent that tweet, and maybe a complete and utter coincidence, just noticed their act, and I'm just looking at stats. Loads of people have unsubscribed from us today, and I've just checked.
Oh,
they are called at Mancoin Way. So I have had to put a tweet out this evening. Well, because I've literally just noticed it. So the guy who was tweeted that poor Asian girl who was attacked, which, you know, sadly should not have happened, has decided to cut this. It's from an account called @Mankind Way. It is in no association with the Mancunian Way. We do not encourage xenophobia, racism, or anything like that. That is not what this protest, from our point of view, was about. I was singing away with a guy from Philadelphia and all sorts last night. People abroad are with us on this because they get it. So please look at the art and look. I don't know why everyone wants to, you know, I'm wondering why I was getting a shitload of DMs today, where all that came from. Cheeky little sod at Mankind Way. Cheeky little sod. Because, by the way, that is not even the Mancunian Way. We've not had an @Mancunian Way for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
All our socials are there underneath.
Hey, it's good to have Dan on. That was really good.
That wasn't a setup, by the way. Genuinely, mate. I didn't want you to think that was. He literally was watching.
No, Christ, no. No, I think the thing that always gets lost here is that I'm on your side. I'm on Dan's side. I'm on the 894 side. But I just try to, for debate, for the show, I try to look at different things.
Oh, Ozzy does that all the frigging time.
Yeah. There you go, Ozzy.
And listen, by the way, listen.
This is why I want you on tone.
And Jack West has put, we want to win. I get it. Speak in the comments, speak for your opinions. Don't speak for other people.
Yeah,
when you do stuff, it then becomes like you're trying to do everyone.
Yeah.
You may want to win, Jack, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the winning, mate.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Where Jack says a tone spot on, we're different. We want to win now. That's not That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying we're different. I'm not saying it's because, you know, trophies and all that sort of stuff. It's been great winning them, but all I'm saying is we're a different club than we were. That was the point I made then. I know nothing about.
Yeah, people are trying to make this into a divide and conquer situation. I don't know why.
Yeah, no.
Speak for yourself only. We encourage all opinions. Ozzy and Rich and everyone will tell us, Pat. Opinions. Everyone do it. So
sometimes you might not like what others' opinions are, but that's just the way.
Right, should we move on to the derby then? Derby weekend, it's here. The 196. Oh, sorry, go on, Ozzy.
I can say, I mean, I've not had one word on this.
Sorry, I forgot. I know you haven't. My bad. Sorry, go on.
I'll keep it short and sweet because you're right, Mario. We should move on to the derby. I've agreed with a lot of what's been said, honestly, from Tone, from Rich, and from Dan, who was excellent coming on. It was really good to have him on and have his say. For me, I'm just going to kind of say this. When Khaldoon, you know, came into the club, he said a couple of things. He said, one, he wanted the club to be financially stable. And so going into the future, it basically paid for itself, which it's doing and has done. The other thing he said is he wanted to he knew that obviously City had a proper grassroots community and he wanted that always to be there. I would think he's out of those two things, one has definitely happened, the other one is starting to fail. You know, because you can see from the supporters groups and from just fans having that, you know, protest last night that something has gone wrong. And we hear all the time, you know, because people like Dan, Martin, Tone, you know, we have people come on who know some things in the background, you know, some people at the top, you know, who come on and say the supporters groups are not really having good communication with the club. It seems to be breaking down and it's getting worse, not better. And I think at the end of the day, City need to do something about this. They need to improve it because ultimately, no one's saying that City, as in, you know, Khaldoon and Sarriar and the rest, they can't put the club into making money, you know, for them, for the club, for whoever, you know. No one's saying they can't do that, but there has to be a point where you have to look after the fans who have supported from day dot, Joanne, who have made this club what it is. You can't just leave them behind because they're the heart and soul of the club. You may own it, but the fans are the heart and soul, and leaving them behind is well, ridiculous, in all honesty. And you know, there was I think City Extra had a statement, didn't they? Was it today or yesterday, saying that the minutes had looked back in 2017, saying Caldoon had said that they shouldn't be putting any further rises on tickets because the supporter group just couldn't afford them. You know what I mean? So he felt they shouldn't be going any higher than they currently were in 2017. And I think not much has changed since that point. You know, you only have to look at what's happened in this country and throughout the world, where, you know, people are getting poorer. You know, no one's getting richer in this country. So,
just say what has changed is the top footballers at those clubs are now earning $500,000 a week instead of 200K a week. And the problem in football is what the players earn. And you look at the costs of every club. It's what the player, and this is
Rich,
same conversation we've had about them complaining about being overplayed. They're overplayed because the clubs are now paying so much in wages. They've got to try and raise more money, and until there's some kind of common sense around the costs in the game, as well as addressing, you know, supporting the fans, the clubs are going to have no choice. They have to make profit, or they get called cheats and can't, and get fined and lose money. And the players, you know, a moderate Premier League player now wants £5 million a year. A moderate Premier League on the bench player. The top players in the Premier League want £25 million a year. You know, 20 years ago, some of the clubs barely had a turnover much more than that. And that things like that have got to be addressed too. It can't just be about.
Rich, I agree with you, Rich.
The whole game has to be addressed.
Yeah, I think no one is arguing that. I think footballers are paid way too much. You know, I think even most footballers just turn around and go, things have got to the point where they probably are paid absolutely silly money. But I think the problem for the average fan is that they see when City announce it, they've made a £700 million profit. I think they're probably looking at this and going, well, you know, the players are paid well, you know, staff are paid well, upper management are paid well, and we're contributing and coming to the games, and we're paying exorbitant amounts on tickets. You know, where's the fairness for us? You know, so I get your point, Rich, but to the average fan, they're looking at it and going, well, City are making stupid amounts of profit. You know, they're having more and more investment every day. I mean, only another investment came out today that City have signed on for an energy drink. So it's not like investment isn't coming in. It isn't like they're not making money.
Rich, Rich, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I've just noticed something. Right. I've just been on a shitload of comments because you know me, I respond to every single comment. I don't know what's going on, but there's a shitload of comments been removed by people. No, I don't mean in name. I've just been into the back channel, which I can do in the channel, and it says comments you haven't referred to. There's about 40 comments I haven't addressed because I haven't seen them. Please, moderators, I know you do a fantastic job because it tells me removed by moderator. I know you do a fantastic job. Can you not remove any comments under the video, even if they're negative? We're not that channel that removes any negative feedback. Please, I'm begging you. I know you're trying to help, and I appreciate it, but please don't remove all the comments. Leave that to me, Ozzy, Rich, or Pat only.
Are you talking
because
about live chat?
it can offend people and make people unsubscribe. We don't want that.
Is that comments after shows? Or
Yeah, you know the comments
Oh, I
underneath
see.
the shows. I've literally just gone in. There's 42 comments there. And I've got to reapprove them so I can respond to them. I don't mean in this.
You mean
It's
an
not a
old
system
show?
edit from my side, Dash. I'm looking at it now, mate. I can screenshot it because it says remove. It doesn't tell me which moderator. It just says removed by moderator.
What, on a previous show?
Yeah.
Uh,
Someone's put here,
Yeah.
Manchester Blue. Richie's dog is a celebrity. Right. What I'll do is, if people are saying they haven't done it, that's fine. What I will do is I will email YouTube and they'll be able to see what's happened.
Yeah, maybe they're talking about this show though.
No, it's not this show. I mean, it goes all the way back to bloody 2 months ago.
Oh, so that might be 1 or 2 each week, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I need to look at.
Okay.
And Richard's
Yeah.
creaky chair that always gets a few comments.
So my apologies. I'll sort it out.
Celebrity chair.
So I will sort it out. So if you're wondering why your comment is disappearing or anything, please don't. We will always respond, even if it's bad.
Yeah, my dog will respond.
Can I just say on the Craig Party Time one, he's actually asking you, Martin, about why.
I am going to come to that.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
okay.
I am not ignoring it. I am coming to Craig Party Time's comment.
I just wanted to say. Go on.
Koki Hayushi, thank you again for your very generous super chat. Totally agree with you. Also, as far as can't choose where we're born, exactly, but we choose who we love, and that's what it is. The fans abroad who are coming, we want you to come and to be affordable for you, as well as it's about a balance. It's a balance. But thank you so much, and Wilson, thank you so much for your very generous 5 gifted memberships. We do appreciate that, and Sam has renewed for a 6-month when you know what that means.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
So thank you so much. And yes, Craig, I've started so I can come back to it. Martin, why don't you call him out? You go every week, same as I do. You know full well quarter of the seats ain't empty. I think they are this season, Craig.
Quarter?
A quarter, no, not a quarter. I don't think it's a quarter. I don't know about the stats. I don't think it's a quarter. I agree with that. Maybe because I did lose my phone. If anyone noticed, I went off screen. I lost my phone out, so I might have missed some of that. It's not a quarter. I'd say there's about 4,000 or 5,000 seats empty this season. I'd say about, and that's a total guess, but there are more seats this season than ever empty.
Yeah, I did make the point, Craig. I know you said Martin there, but I did make the point about the season.
Right, well, I mustn't have heard that, Craig. So yeah, listen, I'm not just going to say agree with. I didn't hear that.
No, that's. I didn't hear that. I was on here and I didn't hear that. So I'm sorry if I've missed that. But I will say I did bring up the they're trying to buy them in July when they go on sale through this Citizens thing or whatever it's called, and you cannot get one if you wait a day or two. You can't get any game, no singles, nothing. People who have the same will back me up on that. You can't get games.
Yeah, you're right, Tone. I've tried at times and they might can't do it, mate. So
they're selling out. They're selling out at the time, and I do stand by my point. I know Dan disagreed, and that's completely fine. But I stand by my point that, in my view, Leicester last night would be close to, if not sold out, if City were top of the league by a point.
I don't know. Did he see it? I need to watch it back. I'll have to watch it back. I don't think Dante. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he did. He didn't. I will ask him. Thought Dante said 50,000. See, I think we're gonna have to. I'll have to rewatch it.
Okay, yeah.
I would agree with that more. I'd say there's 5,000. I say we get a good 40, 50,000. Yeah, but there are empty seats this season more than ever before. There was even empty seats in the corporate for Brighton.
Shall we move on then? Because I'm pretty sure this subject will come back up, no doubt, over the next few weeks, if not days.
See, no. The only thing I will say that, and Craig, is I think it's more. But what they've sold may be different to what's coming in the door, Craig. I've seen more than 1,000 tickets.
Yeah, yes, Martin, but hang on. If they don't care about this. This is what I'm trying to say. Is they care that they've sold and got the money. They're not bothered. That's what I was trying to say. They'd rather sell 100, but they'd rather sell 100 tickets at 80 than 200 at 30. It doesn't. It's completely. That's what I was trying to say at the time.
So the point I'm making is, so I understand not everyone, because I'm missing the game next. I'm missing the game on Saturday. They want me to sell it back to the club so the club can put it somewhere else and get more money for it. That's what I won't agree with.
I'm sure you'll be missing the game Saturday.
Why on earth can't I give it to my friend? Why can't I give it to a family member?
Well, you should be able to. It's your ticket. Yeah, you
exactly. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But
because the club are losing money.
You know
it's about the money tone. That's my issue.
Yeah.
What game are you missing Saturday? Right.
Crystal Palace.
Oh, okay. So not this Saturday.
No, we ain't got a game this Saturday. Week on Saturday. I'm not here for the Palace game.
I know you're not, but it just sounded like you forgot.
Anyway, you want to, like I said, I will sort out. I don't know the comments. It may be a YouTube thing where it says removed by moderator. I can only show you what I've got in front of my screen. I will contact YouTube. We've had this issue before, so I will get to the bottom of it. Carry on, like so. Off you go then. So my apologies if I've totally ignored any comments or you think they're removed. Carry on.
What are we doing now, Martin? We're going to Derby. Okay. I wasn't sure because
Derby Day.
Derby Day.
Woohoo!
It's Tone's favourite day, bollocks, isn't it?
I love it. Bring them on. We're going to stuff them.
Do you reckon Maguire's going to start up front for him?
Yeah. It is G, what's it called? XG or whatever is better than Hoyland, apparently.
Wow.
It is true. Absolutely genuine. £86 million they paid for him. Of course, that's all shrugged off. Doesn't matter. We don't spend money, Man United. Glazers never backed us, never have. Yeah. Load of bollocks. Yeah, we're going to stuff them. We're going to beat them 4-1. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. When's the last time we played a derby when, you know, neither one team was like in battling relegation and the other one was struggling to get in the top six? This is like this must be like going back to the going back to the 80s or something, because it must be the 80s last time that both teams were kind of, one struggling to get in the top six and the other one struggling to stay out of relegation. Mm-hmm. I reckon it's like going back 40 years. It's mad actually, when you think usually it's been first against second for or first against third or something for the last 15 years, and before that it was like first against 15th, but now it's it
does feel that we have really switched positions. Like, we've become more the United that of old and City, United have become the City of old. It does seem like we've completely switched.
We've become Everton, they've become Tranmere. It's such a weird game though that there's obviously stuff riding on it, but for so many years the derby's been the title riding on it, something really, and now it's I don't know what their league season, they're lucky Leicester and Ipswich is so bad that they they could lose every game left this season and they'd still stay up, and so they've got absolutely zero to play for in the league, and the worst United side in the last few weeks I've seen, getting close to as bad a United side as I've seen in my lifetime, which is staggering. And then, the City of a year or two ago, you'd be going there thinking, can we get 15-16 against them? They're that bad. But then we're probably the worst City side we've seen in a decade, a decade or so. So, you know, we can't be as confident as we should be because, you know, we're not great. So yeah, it'd be fascinating. It's going to be an interesting game. I fancy us, but it's not because of faith in us at the minute. It's just because they're so bad. I can't believe they could do the double over anyone. But you know, who knows?
Yeah, I mean the last derby. I mean, I think neither team were good. I think both teams were bad. If we're being brutally honest,
we had it in the bag though. We had it in the bag. I mean, it was just
we blew it. Yeah,
it was the Armoured show really for United. It wasn't United as a team. Armoured for them, you know, got them the win. If it hadn't been for him on the day, you know, I think it probably would have ended up with.
If Núñez and Ederson hadn't had in 10 seconds 3 massive brain farts between them, I mean, you know, three mistakes in a couple of seconds, like, was just. Well, I suppose it wasn't so much. Yeah, it wasn't so much Ederson. It was more Núñez 2 mistakes, and then the whole team having a brain fart after, you know, which is the biggest thing against United is if they score in the last 3 or 4 seasons, we've let them score twice on the trot. 3 times within a minute. So, you know, whatever happens, if they score and we don't bloody pull ourselves together for 5 minutes afterwards, then, you know, every player will need a clip over the back of the head. But we just got to keep our heads and, you know, play to, you know, our lower ability of this year, and, you know, we should beat them. They're terrible.
Who do you boys think? Sorry, Rich. Who do you boys think will start in midfield?
For who?
Yeah, who do you reckon?
I think, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think Nico will start.
I think Nico and probably, I think it'll be Nico.
Probably Bernardo will come. Yeah, I don't know. I think Bernardo might be playing.
Not on the right, please. Not on the bloody right.
No, honestly, I think Bernardo's future's playing the role Gundogan did against Leicester. I think it's that role, you know, when he's going to play alongside Nico, linking either De Bruyne or Foden with the front. But yeah, I assume Kusanov will come back and Guardiola will be left back. But he might go for Nico. He's playing really well. He's, you know, often, you know, the kids do well in derbies because they're well up for it. And I kind of hope Núñez doesn't play because I think he's going to get, you know, I think he's got mistakes in him, and the pressure of playing at Old Trafford after the first derby, you know, that would worry me a little bit.
I think it's a toss of a coin, if I'm honest, right now between Núñez and Rico. It feels that way.
Well, no, he could play Nico. He could play Nico left back and Kusanov right back.
He could, and I think that would be the better way to go. But it just feels.
That's, by the way, Craig, that's what people are worried about, is that no Stan becomes a white elephant.
But it's not going to be, well, yeah.
But we don't know, Tom. You said it was going to be a blue wall.
Well, Richard Dog, you know, has an opinion again.
Sorry, Tone. My issue is, I'm going to say, and we'll move on, Puller, is the club can make a business or a club can make small mistakes. If you can't call out the small mistakes, you got to call them out before they become bigger problems.
But it's being built.
Yeah, but did we sell out yesterday?
No.
Yes or no? Did we sell out yesterday, Tone?
Well, we haven't sold out many games.
Did we sell out for Brighton?
I don't know. Well, yeah,
we didn't even sell hospitality out for
Martin,
Brighton.
back when I tried to get a ticket, we had sold out because I couldn't get one.
But that's the other thing, putting them all on sale at the start of the season in one good go. Not everyone's got the money to do that then.
Yeah, but they sell out. They literally sell out. You can't get out.
No, selling in batches. That's the bit you don't get. They sell them in batches. They don't release them all in one go.
Martin and Tame, there's one point.
They sell them in batches.
One point.
I know that. I've been told that. Because
there's one point you're missing.
Windows on it, Tome. One at the start.
More recent
we do it again. Because they're the batches.
Yeah.
They're not selling 50,000 in July.
They're selling a vast majority of them, though, and then they hold some back 3 weeks before the game.
But then what you're saying is then our fan base to become glory hunters. Then is what
I think there's one point.
And because there's no trophies on the line, people are fucked off.
Yeah, but
there's
some
one
will.
point.
Some will. Sorry, Rich.
Yeah, there's one point
you are massively missed
in world football. It's only the Premier League where there's this obsession of selling out games. Barcelona play 15 of their 19 league games with 10, 20, 30,000 empty seats. Real Madrid play until, they're selling out a bit more now, but they consistently play league games with empty seats. Clubs do not need a ground that's the size that every seat is full. They need a ground where they can maximize revenue in the big
we
in the Champions League games.
This is just going to turn into an argument. Let's move back to United. Carry on.
Yeah.
Big up, Pat.
If you're full every game, you're losing. If you're full every game,
you're
probably losing money.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's spot on, Rich. Yeah.
Evening Blue Monday. Carry on.
I'm going to wait until you guys shut the fuck up.
Who's better, Ozzy?
Seriously.
Tell Mr. Accountant down
Ozzy.
there. Accountant Ozzy down here.
Ozzy, Leicester against United.
Don't go to more than one game every 2 years, these two.
Who's worse, Leicester or United?
Don't care.
Do we go to Leicester City or do we go to the Arsenal game?
Ozzy won't ask me back on. Ozzy's
not you, Tone.
Me.
Well, I blame Marty.
I'm joking now. Again. Carry on. Ozzy, you're in charge.
What a show. I love it.
Listen, I've not got a problem. If we're going to just have a ticketing show, fine. But this is our last show before the derby. If we don't talk about derby, what's the point?
Are we sold out? Please tell me the away end sold out.
Yeah. Ozzy, Martin's not interested in what happens on the pitch anymore. It's all the politics. It's all the politics.
Earlier conversation.
Come on! Politics FC. Anyone play Jack Grealish, by the way, Fogger? I know you gifted 10, mate, and thank you so much. You are a ledge. By the way, there's people I've not responded to emails. I'm so sorry. I will get to it. I promise you. I am so behind on everything. I will get to all of you. I promise. Please accept my humble apology. It doesn't help when little dickheads like him are putting out tweets, IGs or whatever they're called, saying the channel's wrapping up. And I have to respond to study everyone to say we're not doing. So big up Fogger and big up Dash Mash. You are both legends. Dash Mash, again, I need to respond to you. I've not had time because I've been that busy. My apologies. But you guys are legends. Thank you.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
Tone?
Yes.
In that Instagram that I did as an April Fool's.
It's brilliant, yeah.
What did it say in the April Fools in the comments? Did it have hashtag April Fools?
It did, mate, because when I first saw it, I thought, bloody hell, it is closing. And then I did see the hashtag April Fool Day. Fool's Day.
Do you look at every hashtag on a post? It's like we're saying, do you read the T's and C's?
But,
do you know why hashtags are important?
I thought it was good, Martin. I thought it was a good joke.
You're going to have to deal with all the admin after it.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted me to tell him beforehand so he knew. But
I've not got enough hours in the day to contend with than dealing with this dickhead up here giving me more admin.
Brilliant. Love it. Well done, Ozzy.
Can't wait.
We want more season tickets, Craig. That's what we want. Bring our season tickets back.
Martin.
Sorry, go on. No, I'm going off for one here. Go on, Darby. Come on. By the way, does anyone feel like the derby's lost a bit of spice this year? Because maybe is it because we're both not doing anything?
Yeah, Martin, we were saying that 10 minutes ago when you were like,
all right, okay,
on ticket prices and like,
I'm off screen. I'm dealing with so much admin
and not listening to us.
Yeah. guys, I've got to go. So thank you very much for having me on. Thanks to everyone.
Oh, you're never coming on again. You're a right wind-up merchant, dickhead.
You'll be on next week. You know it.
So do you want to tell them all about the podcast before you go? Because there's a little bit of a change this week.
Yeah, next 2 weeks, I think we're recording on Monday nights. So it'll be out a bit later, Monday about 9ish or somewhere around there. So a day later than normal. Yeah, we're recording because we're a bit busy at the weekends. So thank you also for all the support with that. And numbers have been unbelievable and feedback and all that. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ozzy, Martin, Rich, for having me on. All the best, boys.
Always brilliant having you on. Thanks again.
Take care. Bye.
City's Tuesdays is the first. No, seeing ticket prices aren't a problem, Craig. It's the availability. I want my grandchildren to go. We've not sold any for 4 years, Craig, and that is factual. So I'm not having we've not sold any for 4 years, and we've only got 30,000.
Yeah, the grandkids will probably be Oldham fans, Martin. They'll be looking at the game, you know, the way it is nowadays. You'll be having to get a boundary park with them.
Right. I mean, for me, yeah, by the way, yes, I noticed you probably did notice half the Mancunian way was on my DAP South stand this morning, which was lovely to see. You know, I messaged DAP, so I went, are you nicking everyone? There was Nick, there was bloody Alan, there was Pat, everyone was on there. I'm like, hang on a minute, we're doing Aussie's Blue Down, we're doing Blues Down Under, and he's frigging nicked the idea out. No, they can go all where they want as long as
must be a spy, you know, selling you trade secrets.
Listen, Aussie, Rich, we can all go where we want as long as we don't miss our shows. That's what matters.
And where is Pat?
You know what I mean? Would anyone play Grealish? Or because obviously we rested Foden, De Bruyne, Bernardo. Are they all back for Sunday, do you think?
In some shape or form, I think they probably will be.
Most of them,
off.
Yeah. Yeah. He was rested more than likely for the derby. So. Listen, to your point, like you were saying, Martin, and we were saying before you interrupted with more ticketing stuff, it slightly feels that this season's derbies have been irrelevant, in all honesty. United are probably, as been said in the media, that this is probably the worst United team since Rich, you know, saw them when he was a little kid. So yeah, United have just become irrelevant to City at the moment. It may be a local derby, but really and truly, the two teams, even as bad as we are or have been, United are worse. You know, position-wise in the table, the way they run, everything about United is rotten at the core. And I think that's the thing is that as all the issues that City have got, it's still nowhere near as bad as United. I mean, talking about the ticketing stuff, that's one issue City have got. United have got every issue under the sun.
Yeah, well, we've only got one issue, I agree.
You know, as a United fan, you're probably just pulling your hair out thinking, I wish we had just one problem. But we've got hundreds, thousands of problems. And, you know, there are some United fans that still live in the glory days. There are still United fans who are, we just need a few more players and we just need to spend some money in the summer. We just need to bring in a new striker a new goalkeeper. I'm sorry, did you not just do that a couple of summers ago?
United are on a decent run though, because I mean, yeah, they got beat by Forest, I agree, but they were the better team. They were by far the better team.
But ultimately, you know, their manager's come in and, you know, he has done what, really and truly? He's probably made them worse in league positions. You know, for me, you know, he came in as a manager who had all the big ideas, but really and truly, he's working with a team that are just not good enough or not suited to play the way he wants them to. Rather than thinking, I need to adapt them because I can't get rid of the players, I've got to keep the ones I've got at the moment. Rather than adapting to what they're going through and going, let's use the players I've got to win as much as I can to get us in a better league position to win a trophy, he's just going in there and going, it's my way or the highway. And that has just been the downfall. Now, imagine like Pep Guardiola can do that, but a guy who's, you know, had some success in Portugal, no offense to Portuguese league, it's nothing compared to the Premier League. And as much as he turned around and came in at the beginning and went, I know all the problems that I'm walking into, it kind of looks like now that actually he may have knew the problems, but living with them every day has obviously just not made anything better.
Yeah, but I think that club is a mess. That club is a mess. And what they need to change, you know, it's as big as what City needed to change in the mid-2000s. I know they haven't reached the depths we reached in 98, but honestly, from where they were financially in terms of the quality of that team, the drop-off's been every bit as big as us going to Division 2, because we were never close to, you know, in the early 90s, we were never close to the level that they were at. I mean, it is an absolute car crash. And I think Amarin's right. They need to rebuild nearly everything. But they've let everything get so... They've made so many bad decisions on players, so many bad decisions on contracts, so many bad decisions on not spending money on the ground, so many bad decisions on what they've done with training that they've now got, you know, a problem which will take them a decade to fix properly.
So what happens if they beat us, Rich?
Well, they could, because yeah.
By the way, I know you're all doing all these fun games, piss take.
No, but Martin, really true.
No, it's not. We're not taking the piss. This is true. This is fact.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's not taking the piss. It's yeah,
no,
but Martin, unfortunately,
the only thing that changes is bragging rights. And right now, United can turn around and go, "Oh, if we win Sunday, you know, haha, you know." But really and truly, it's like City fans can just turn around and go, "And where are you in the league? What have you won in the last decade? You are nowhere near City's level. Don't talk to us until you come back up to being at least in the top 4.
And sadly, we're nowhere near City's level at the moment. That's the problem.
But at least, but the thing is, Rich, is we may be nowhere near our previous levels. But in all honesty, can you really see this carrying into next season? No. Can you see this happening and continuing for United into next season? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to look at United, right? They are, you know, about the only thing they've got to play for is to see which of them and Spurs comes in the best place in the bottom 10. Because United can't get top 10. They're going to finish in the bottom half of the league. And really, in the bottom half of the league, you got, you know, I guess you got Spurs. Maybe you got Everton as a fallen giant. But really, it's just, you know, which one of them can sneak 12th and get above the other one. You know, United's season depends on a European match or two. And there really is zero else to play for except for taking the piss at work on Monday. City, it is more consequential for City because we are in a battle to the death with at least Newcastle and Chelsea for 4th and 5th. Because, you know, I'm not sure anyone's going to catch Forest now. They 7-8 points clear. So, you know, we've got, you know, Newcastle's got to play Chelsea, so they're going to drop points. But, you know, if those two go on a run, thankfully for us, they're both, Chelsea have got other games to play still, but it's you know, it's a battle to the death, and there's clubs like Brighton and Villa could sneak into that battle for the death. Although, you know, I think thankfully for us, Villa have got some massive European games probably that will be more important. But so it's pretty important for us. We can't drop points against relegation sides and get top 5. And that's what this game, that's the way you have to look at it. We're away at a relegation team and we need to win because we need top 5.
And that's really it, isn't it? Let's be honest. You know, that's what we're saying, Martin, is that we are up against
I am
teams that are...
I'm working at the same time, so I'm not ignoring you.
No, we're just saying, me and Rich, we're not here just having a good laugh at United about how bad they are. We're on about, yes, how bad they are, but it's just about where we are in the derby as two teams in a derby where really and truly we're the ones who've got something to play for in this derby. United, all they've got to really play for is bragging rights. And to me, that's a sad indictment of where United really are at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, you know, it being a nothing game, City Leicester. Imagine going to United home game the rest of this season where, you know, pretty much they can't come lower than about 17th because, you know, they're only 1 point off safety now or something that, you know, actually, no, it's a few more than that. But they're 17 points clear of relegation or with, 8 games to go. So they're, you know, they're probably 2 weeks and they'll be safe. Because Ipswich and Leicester will probably lose, and so what they're playing basically: are we going to come 13th? Are we going to come 15th? Imagine that! Like that is as bad as it gets in football. Is an end of season battle for lower mid table place.
I've been told it's Saturday. I've been told it's Saturday the 26th. It's on the FA website as Saturday the 26th. So I guess we'll know, but I'll be there anyway. We'll just let you know. No, listen, listen, a derby's a derby for me. Doesn't matter how shit someone is, how good someone is. Form's out the window, everything's out the window. I watched Sean go to stick one past World Cup winner Fabian Barthez. Saw him put 2 past him. So the derbies and forms mean now. A derby about who wants it on the day. Look at Liverpool and Everton yesterday. That derbies are just derbies. Talking about who's had a crap season, who's had all this, means now. City, when the roles reversed and United were winning everything, City used to get a lot of wins on derby day. I hate them. I don't enjoy them. I don't enjoy the game. I sit there hiding behind my sofa for 95 minutes, peeking out, wondering. The only good thing is we do seem to have a better success rate at the Swamp than what we do at the Etihad at the moment. We seem to do better away, which is weird. And yeah, we have dropped to 5th now because Chelsea have won 1-0 tonight, and Newcastle I've got their game in hand, obviously, but we'll see. But City win all their games, they'll finish top 4 or 5. Chelsea won't win all their games, and Newcastle won't. And City have got the easier run. And if we're 6, we're 6. It's where we deserve to be. We go in the we go into Europa League, and we have a bit of fun for a year.
Yeah, I don't. As much as we all want to get into that Champions League spot. You know, Liverpool did it for a year, and I think if they can do it, we can do it. You know,
yeah. Nottingham Forest seem to be dropping off because, by the way, Forest are playing awful at the minute. They beat United by Langer's absolute breathtaking bit of skill and breathtaking goal. Other than that, United would have had a somewhat decent striker, they'd have probably come away with the City ground with a win.
But the reality is they're going to have to lose 5 games or something for us to finish above them. You know?
Yeah, no. I'm talking about just in general.
We've
got the FA Cup semi-final coming up, haven't we?
Yeah.
And by the way,
yeah.
Make the Champions League, Rich. They win the Europa.
Yeah, that's what I said. They've got a couple of European games. that matter. The Premier League is just a waste of their time now. It counts for zero, apart from maybe
and
a million
like
or
Michael said here,
money.
what I mean, guys, I'd rather win the next 5 or 6 games and lose to the Rags than beat them and draw the next 3. And that is it. People keep telling me it's a different setter. Well, we can't look at being the derby being the most important thing in our world now. I would rather win the next 5 or 6 and draw against the Rags.
Yeah.
And my only thing with United is who's going to score for them.
Well, I mean, usually it's Bruno that seems to get them out of the most trouble.
Well, Rashford's not there anymore, so he won't score.
Not away from Aston, no.
We've still got to play bloody Villa, though, haven't we?
They're still in the Champions League, though, Rich. They've got to think about
no
that.
Champions League, and that's fine. You got to accept that may happen.
And the FA Cup, they've got. I mean, Villa are going to have a lot of games.
And by the way, the only thing I will say is Liverpool and United still made signings.
Yeah.
If that's Verts' thing, then that's fine. But it is what it is. This is what I mean. I think we've gone into. If we have to have a season out, we have to have a season out when we come back, and we'll see what happens. There's no point in having a meltdown over it. City cannot afford to not to get. You can't forget Cameos coming. Others want to rebuild with no Champions Leagues. But would they not be able to do that for a year? I would question their issue of joining City. Then, Craig, if they're not confident to get us back within a year, then I'm questioning why they're joining. Then, Craig, as a fan, I'm wondering why they're joining. Then.
Well, it's not.
I'm not sure I want them at that point.
It's not only that though, Martin. It's the 150, 200 million hole in the financials as well.
Well, hang on a minute. Aren't we meant to be getting all this money from the Club World Cup? I keep getting told.
Yeah, we'll get. That could fill half the gap, but even then, it's still a big.
But how come it wasn't a fall off for United, Chelsea, and Liverpool when they had a year out? Why is it such a fall off for City?
Well, do you see what?
No, this is what this is what I don't understand, Rick. Why is every other club in England? It's not a fall off for a year, and for us, it's the end of the world.
Why do you think Chelsea have had to raise 400 million quid selling hotels and
because they've had 5 years out of it?
And why do you think United are in the absolute mess they're in, and they're trading down sausages to hash browns in the canteen?
Because they've had a long time out of it. I'm saying 1 year out of it.
1 year out of it could be the difference between signing Verts and signing.
Can you name me another club that's done 12 years consecutively qualifying for the Champions League?
Real Madrid.
No, in England.
No one.
Oh, right. So why is it such a detriment on us and everyone else can do it?
How many other players have signed the best playmaker in the world in that time? None of them. How many players have won 7 titles in that time? None, or 8 titles, sorry, in that time.
Short-term thinking again. No, it is. It's short-term thinking.
No, it's just reality.
Listen, Rich, I think...
Then I don't want them. If they're only joining if we're in the Champions League, I don't want them then. Because they're not coming for the right reasons.
The right reason is for them to win trophies and win the Champions League and win the Premier League. And they're going to come, the more likely that is to happen. And if we can't come top 5, of course that's going to be that is the right reason.
Sorry, I've got to do this. Can we stop saying because we have a season out makes us a small club? I'm not. Listen, God gave you 2 years.
Yeah, that is a nonsense. I agree with that. But
what is this crap? We're not a small city anymore. We weren't small city anyway, E-Link. We've got the record attendance in England. Pissing hell. This is what I mean.
Richard,
No, I'm not saying it is a secret, but Paul Pogba joined. Have you seen the players that signed in the Champions League? I don't know. I'm just saying. I think we'd be okay for a year.
I can see the points to what Rich is saying, because we understand the importance.
No, many people are, and that's fine.
We all want to make the Champions League. I think there isn't one of us that doesn't want to make it. I think the argument that yourself and I are making is that a year out, yes, it will cost us, in the pocket, but it doesn't mean that a year out will be completely detrimental to us moving forward. It might mean no,
that's
Rich,
not the point. That's not the point.
No, it might mean that we don't get a Vert. It depends on his ambition and whether he can see past a bad year for City at the standards that we normally set, and realise that you're going to be playing under the best manager, you're going to be playing with some of the best players on the planet, and you're going to be playing some of the best football in the Premier League and future competitions being the Champions League. If you can't see that, then I can understand why Martin's saying, then I don't want you. Because if you can't see all these things that are ahead of you,
let's be completely honest, Ozzy. Haaland would not have signed for us if we hadn't been in the Champions League that next year. Honestly, he wouldn't. These players are looking at elite football clubs, and the margins between one club and another is not massive on where they're going. If Wirtz might have the choice, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Real Madrid. Now, I don't think it makes Wirtz the wrong personality to go to a top club if two of those teams are competing in the Champions League final this year and in next year's Champions League, and the other one has just come 7th in their division and won't be playing, and will be playing in the Europa Conference next year, right? Because he's not thinking, if you're looking at that, you're not thinking, well, they're going to go back and win the league next year. So we have to accept, if we don't win the Champions League, it's not going to kill the club. Doesn't mean we're not going to be competing for anything next year, but it will make it much harder for us to get elite signings, the best young players in Europe, to sign for us next season. Now, we might bounce back in 1 year and we might be able to sign the equivalents the year after. But the truth is, it will make a difference. It will make a difference of 100 million plus on our planning and what we can spend over the 3 years from PSR point of view. It will make us slightly less attractive to the best players in the world. So it is important. If we want to be back winning the league again and successful, it's important. And no, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to, in the very long term, it's not going to make any difference. But in the short term, it is. And I think we've seen that from every club in this country who's missed the Champions League money. They're not as good. They're not as successful. They haven't had the trophies, because if you have a big, hit to your trajectory, it takes you back a year or two, and then it takes you a year or two to get back to where you were and get back on that track. And
well,
that's
why did we get done on 115 then, Rich?
The same. We get, and we go back again. What am I doing then? I'm enjoying watching City play Oxford. I'm enjoying the fact we'll have the best atmosphere, the cheapest tickets, and all the things everyone's protesting and whining about will be gone away for a year.
I think some have got too used to the winning.
Yeah, but
and it's the fear. This is why everyone's not doing what. This is why some won't say anything against the owners, not the owners. Oh, sorry, Arno, because if we do, he may go. It's the fear of not winning anymore. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, maybe, just maybe, this game ain't for me anymore. I don't know.
Yeah,
you've got Boundary over the summer.
You've got Boundary Park just down the road, so you can go and get real football.
I've got Boundary Park. I've got Stockport. Also, it's not about that, Rich. It's not about that. To me, it's football's become all about money and winning now, and that wasn't why I fell in love with it, mate.
No. It wasn't that way any of us did.
But that's all anyone talks about now.
Well,
if we don't get the Champions League, we won't get there. So what? We don't.
No, I'm not disagreeing
Everything's doom
with
and
that at
gloom
all.
now. Everything's
But,
doom
well,
and gloom.
No, Martin, I think you're not separating the emotion from the reality. If we don't get Champions League, it's less likely we get Verts. Does that make me love City any less or care anything different next season? No. Truth is, if we got done for 1-1-5 and went down, a lot of City fans would probably love City more next season than they do this season, because it would get a fierce amount of loyalty back. It would make it would really bring, a lot of people closer.
It's not making the Champions League the end of the world.
No, not making the Champions League makes a difference to what we'll do in the next 2 or 3 years. It makes a difference.
We never know,
because
it hasn't.
None of that's the end of the world.
It has for every club. It hasn't.
What club has consistently missed the Champions League and not had a negative impact?
Consistently, I said 1 year.
Yeah, but
no, 1 year is not consistently.
Martin, I have not said. All I have said. All I have said is that if
the cereal bag.
No, Martin,
what the hell?
If we miss the Champions League, listen. If we miss the Champions League, we are less likely to sign Verts. Fact.
It means anti a bullshit, me Uncle Rich.
If we miss the Champions League, we are less likely to sign Verts. Fact. Am I going to get emotional about that?
Yes, we might. No, it's not that. He's saying we won't buy Verts. We won't get this player. We won't get that player.
We're less likely to, yeah. Undoubtedly.
We don't know, Rich.
Yeah, but we don't know if Donald Trump's
United
going to invade Wales next year.
And all them. They got all them while they were out. And they went back. Yes, it failed on them, and they're out for good now. What happened?
The most overrated two footballers.
What happened with Liverpool when they had a year out? Rich, they came back and they went on to win it again.
Yeah,
and now they're going on to win the title. What's all the doom and gloom about?
The doom and gloom is they're going to lose their 3 best players for nothing.
See, this is what I mean. So what you're saying is Liverpool are a bigger attraction than City, then, because they can do a year out the Champions League and it doesn't affect them.
No, when did Liverpool last sign the best playmaker in the world?
What?
Kevin Keegan from Hamburg, probably. Liverpool haven't signed the best player in the world since the 70s. They sold him to Hamburg. Yeah. They probably haven't had the best playmaker in the world since Dalglish, I should say, probably. Not Keegan. They haven't signed someone like that for decades and decades. So they just got
Craig. I've said it. I think that worries me a bit. That means they're not coming for the love of City then. And City, this, Craig. City are big on players who want to come for the club.
Yeah, I would question.
That's like saying if we don't get the Champions League, Ireland's going to hand in a transfer request.
Martin, be honest. Be totally honest now. Do you think Yaya signed for City because of the love of City?
No, he signed for the money. I'm not
Aguero signed for City for the love of City.
Okay, then, Rich. If we end up in Europa League, is Haaland going, Foden going?
Well, Haaland's got a 10-year contract.
No, bollocks. He's got a release clause. So is Haaland within his right to go, I want out the door, then I'm not doing a year in the Europa? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I'm saying Wirtz is less likely to sign. I've not mentioned any player leaving.
We're just not going to sign anybody.
Yeah, it's the end of the club, mate. My God, this season.
Talk about it, mate. An overreaction. I've said we might be less likely to sign Wirtz.
No, Rich.
I like
this. Haaland's an exception, though. Haaland is the exception. I like it. No, Dash, I get that. But they're only going to sign for Champions League. That worries me. That worries me then.
Do you know what, though? Should it worry you? Because United signed, you've made the point about United signing these players not being in the Champions League, and all of them signed for money. And
that's what I'm looking for, Dad. I want someone to admit that. Liverpool and United are bigger than us, Rich, and that's why they could make the signings they could.
No,
so what you're saying is
United,
too equal.
Right. One, One, Liverpool haven't really made.
That's my point.
Liverpool, they've not made any really massive signings. Liverpool have made good signings. They haven't made massive signings. They haven't made 100 million signings of the best player in that position in the world. They've made good signings. Fair play to them.
Craig, they're about to win the league, mate, and won the Champions League after the
United paid the most money to players who were mercenaries and suffered for it. 1 second, I'm just going to get my dog in. Martin's fired. Martin's ranting's just fired the dog up.
No, but Craig, then he wants to leave then because he won't want to play in Europa. I just think we're getting a bit panicky on the out of the Champions League for a year. But anyway, I know Ozzy's got to wrap up. Ozzy, do you want to add out?
We might be in the Championship, so I don't know. Everyone's getting excited about not missing the Champions League.
Exactly. You know, we certainly could end up with the Championship, Rich. Honestly, like, you know, I think we end up where we end up. It's down to the players on the pitch and Pep ultimately to secure that top 5 finish, and ultimately then for City to go off and get Rich's verse.
Panic to beat the Premier League as well.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, it's a bit of a mute point right now. There are so many things up in the air. We'll have to see how the season ends and what happens with the case as well. So yeah, right now I think we just need to concentrate on Sunday's game more importantly. So for me, I can see a City win because I just don't think United have got it currently. I agree with mine. On Derby Day, it doesn't matter too much who's on better form, but I just think United are so bad right now. They haven't got a quality player like Ahmed right now. Bruno can get them out of a tough spot sometimes, but even he's not been that great of late. So we'll see ultimately Sunday. So from me, good night, everyone, and I will catch you on the next one.
Yeah, just to let everyone know, we'll do the post-match Palace probably Monday. Not Palace, the Derby Monday. Why am I a week in the future? We'll do the Derby stuff on Monday night. It will be about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Well, we'll see. It might be a bit earlier. We'll see. But we'll do it Monday night. We'll see who's available. And then we'll be back. Do a phone-in show next week. And we'll do the Thursday night chat. Then there'll be nothing over the... I'm away. I go away Friday till Monday. I'm away then. I'm going having a nice break. Away from everything. Not talking City. Football can kiss my rear end. I'm not doing any of it. I'm going having a well-earned break. So, yes. Massive thank you to everyone in the chat. Massive thank you to Ozzy and Rich. And to Tone. And to Dante earlier on. No, I'm not going to Prague. I'm staying in England. I'm having a staycation. I am away in May, though. I'm going to Tenerife in May. Tenerife, over there. You know me and my little jaunts to Tenerife. I do like my little jaunts to Tenerife. And then I'm going to Turkey in July. Turkey, that one's over there. Tenerife that way, Turkey that way.
I love it. Martin's going to come back with a full head of hair and beautiful white teeth.
And there is going to be no football. And then this summer,
you say that every time.
He says that, and the next thing he's on bloody Mancunian Way outside, telling everyone he's going to have to sleep on the lounge. It's 35 degrees.
Back now, you're on your holidays now. It's not that you have enough time off this channel. You're going having another jump for a month. Can you let us know when your availability is now? Your availability is like bloody
May.
I've got to put you in 6 months in advance.
Well, but, you know, who knows what's happening over the next few
He's been on
weeks.
twice the whole of this season.
I've been on twice the last 7 days.
It's off.
Well, 8 days, actually, being technical, but anyway.
Yeah, and you weren't on a month and a half before that. You and Pat are taking months out at a time at the minute. Yeah, one disappears for 2 months, the other one comes back, then the other one disappears.
Just conspiracy, I tell you, conspiracy.
You know, the last time we had the four of us on a Thursday night show was 2.5 months ago.
Yeah, he's never seen Pat and me in the same room.
Yeah,
That's
he's crazy.
True.
There's only me and
Anyway.
Oz keeping this Thursday night show going at the minute.
Anyway, Rich, have a wonderful time on your holes.
How long are you
We'll
away
see you
for?
when you
No,
get back.
genuinely. All jokes aside, how long are you away for?
Most of April. But I might be available.
We'll see. We'll see you next season then, Rich.
I might be available, you know, live
He
from...
says to me in February, oh, once the clocks change, it gets a lot easier. Doesn't tell you he's pissing off for a month.
Yeah, well,
You know
it gets
what I mean?
easier.
So the clocks will get easier.
When, Rich, honestly, when are you available?
I don't know. We'll see. I might be available next Thursday night. I might be available the Thursday after. Depends.
Yeah, well, it's good night from him and it's good night from me. Thank you all. Please be nice to each other. You might all not agree. I know it's very emotive at the minute and very emotional. Be nice to each other. And also be careful what you're reading. Careful what you're reading and double check things. This will send you over to LB. Let him know Mankway raid. Take care all. We'll see you Monday night to chat all about the 196 Manchester derby. And I promise you there will be no protest talk. It's all football. Take care all.
Bye.